So here's what we're going to be doing real quickly. I'm going to be showing you what Zillow's doing, how to fix it, and then how to stay in that mode for the rest of your career. I hope that makes sense. Let's get started because it is time. Now, let me go ahead and talk about the future of real estate and realtors. Okay, here's the future. Is the market good right now? It is good right now. Now, why is it? Some of you, many of you have done 2, 3, sometimes 4 times more business than you did in 2019, in 2020, and you're probably off to a good start in 2021 as well. Now, why is that? Is that because you're 2, 3, 4 times better of a realtor than you were in 2019? Actually, that's not the case. Here's what's going on. The interest rates are at all-time lows. They're at 2.5%, varying 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6. Who in the world wouldn't want to buy a house under those circumstances? I mean, on my own house, I have a 3.75 VA loan that I've had for 10 years, and I always thought I was lucky, and I do feel lucky. That's free money. I mean, anything below 4% is crazy free money. But everyone in the world wants to buy a house, and that's why this business has exploded in the last year. Because guess what? Everybody who's ever even thought about buying a house is wanting to buy a house. Let me give you an example of this. Ready? Heather Sims from Sacramento just put an offer in on a $700,000 house. Ready? Here's her offer. No appraisal contingency. We don't care how it appraises. We'll take it anyway. Ready? No loan contingency. If we don't come up with the money, too bad. We're still on the hook. Ready? Rent back to the owners until June. So they can live in the house until June for free. And an $800,000 offer. $100,000 over asking, plus all these other things. And she still doesn't know if she's going to get it. So that's what's going. But my point is, how are you going as a realtor? How are you going to keep that business going all the way through 2021, 2022, and beyond? Because during that time, guess what happened? Zillow was working on their business in a big way. And while we were looking the other direction, they made some great gains in their business. And so did Open Door, OfferPad, Redfin, and all the rest of them. Now, they are set to have, they're changing real estate. They're set to take a record number of deals. Zillow is now a brokerage, and I'll talk about that as well. They are part of the MLS. If you didn't know that, they're part of your MLS. Not just CRMLS, but all of them. Ready? They now have a direct IDX feed. And what does that mean? That means, guess what? They don't need your permission anymore. They can do anything they want. They also have their own agents, and they just bought Showing Time. Now, if that doesn't seem to you like an attempted takeover of this business, I don't know what would. But I'll show it to you in their own words. Open Door goes public because they did 36,000 deals. 36,000 deals taken out of the pockets of the people on this call. Open Door, by the way, companies don't go public if they're not doing well. And they just went public. Unbelievable. Next, Redfin continues to confuse everybody with their 1% listing product, which, by the way, I'll talk about a little bit later, because I know realtors who are losing listings because of that. And it's a very easy way to beat them coming and going. You just got to know how the program operates, because it's not 1%. It's 1% plus, 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 plus. And I'll talk about that in a second. Also, if you want to be in real estate in the future, here's what you must do. Provide new value. And you're like, oh, I provide lots of value, Wellington. I'm a great realtor. I'm sure you are. But the value that you have provided over the last 50 years, or how long your career has been, is now considered free or worthless in the mind of the seller. That's what Zillow has done. That's what Open Door has done. That's what Redfin now has done. And all these other companies, what you do and what the average customer thinks you do is now worthless because they can get it for free. They think. Can they really get it for free? No. But if they think they can, that's all they need. Next, here's the last thing. You're thinking, and a lot of people think that, oh, nothing happens. No matter what happens with Zillow, my relationships will always protect me, Wellington. I'm going to be the relationship. My customers always come to me because I have a relationship with them. No, they won't. Not anymore, and I will prove it to you today. Here we go. Now, by the way, I speak very rapidly, and I do that on purpose to keep your mind awake. By the way, the human mind can accept words and understand words at 4 times the normal rate. So what I'm doing is I'm actually making you a little bit smarter. So I'm making your brain work. But my point is I have a lot of information I need to get to you very, very quickly. So if I talk too fast, just listen quicker. Okay, let's get to it. Now, Zillow. Oh, Zillow. What are they doing? Well, they bought Showing Time. What does that mean? Showing Time is a proprietary software that most MLSs use to basically decide, okay, or basically schedule, I should say, schedule showings, which is a really, really big deal now, because for every listing out there, we have 15 people that make offers and 30 people that want to see it. So that's a big deal. If that doesn't seem to you, just my opinion, once again, there's no saying, it's just my opinion, but I'm right. If that doesn't seem like a move to control the client and the inventory, I don't know what is. So we're going to talk about exactly how to beat these guys coming and going. So let me show you something real quick that's probably going to shock you. Anybody ever heard of Richard Barton? I'm going to be talking to him the entire time. Richard Barton is the co-founder and current CEO of Zillow. Now, let me show you exactly what's going on. Ready for this? There's a realtor in Seattle. This is brand new stuff. This just came out 2 days ago. There's a realtor in Seattle who posted her own property, meaning her own house, on the MLS. So she's the agent and she's the owner. Stay with me. Ready? She uploads her house into the Keller Williams listing system and the MLS. Seems logical, right? Of course it does. Now, she's the owner and she's the listing agent, as you know. Within days, Zillow has reached out to her through email and other venues to who they think is the owner. So they think they're reaching out to the owner. They don't know that she's also the agent. Offering her their assistance in determining if my agent, meaning her agent, because they don't know she is the agent, is the right choice when listing the house. Does that sound like a violation of the MLS to you? Does to me, but let's keep going. And giving her tips on how she can change her realtor. Now, let me go ahead and emphasize something. Zillow is now a realtor. Zillow is now part of the MLS. Zillow has agents. Change her realtor. Change her realtor to who? I wonder. Let's keep going. Zillow tells her that she should dump her realtor, not knowing that she was the agent. We are here to help, they say, in that format. Realizing her current agent isn't, now here's how they put it. Realizing your current agent isn't getting the job done can be disheartening, they say. Even if you have a signed contract. The good news is many sellers end up changing their real estate agent, changing their agent for one reason or another, even if the contract is not expired. But both parties must be willing to part amicably, they say. There's a right way and a wrong way to let your agent know things aren't working out. This is actually from correspondence and it's been sent from Zillow to somebody who has their house for sale. They just don't know it's an agent. Reasons for switching agents. Ready? There are many reasons a seller may switch to a new agent. Here are a few of the most common. At this point, Zillow, in my opinion, again, this is all my opinion, okay, except the stuff that I'm actually quoting. In my opinion, Zillow is actually soliciting another agent's property, in my opinion. That's what it seems like to me. Lack of communication, they say. Number one, your agent doesn't answer when you call and generally hard to reach, or they don't provide updates or after showings. Lackluster marketing tactics. Your agent doesn't make much effort to promote your listing on multiple channels. I wonder what channels they're talking about. Do you think it might be Zillow? Do you think? They aren't investing in paid advertising. Paid advertising. Where have I heard that before? Okay, options, or they may not offer professional photography. Unreliable or unavailable. Your agent doesn't give advice, advance notice for showings, or they miss appointments. Ready for this? Now, before I read this, I want you to notice that that's actually the information that Zillow sent to this agent as the seller. Question for you: are your sellers getting that information, getting that notice, getting that email from Zillow? I wonder if they are. That's really, really interesting because in my opinion, that's soliciting another agent's property. Ready for this one? This is a text that I received recently from an agent who just did this with Zillow. Ready? Here's a text. Now this is yesterday, okay? And when I say yesterday, it's yesterday, so it's 2 days old, okay? Hi, this is Meredith from Zillow. Got your showing request for today at 24010 Doverwick Drive. So in other words, there's been a request to see a Zillow-owned house. They probably bought through an iBuyer program. Okay? I'd be happy to see if an agent can make it to the home at a mutually convenient time. So in other words, Zillow's now offering one of their agents to show up at the house. Okay? Before I do so, do you have a buyer's agent that you are committed to? Because they're obviously going to be the listing agent because they own the house. And now they're asking this person who's asking for a showing if they have a buyer's agent. Ready? I am an agent, meaning I am the buyer's agent. I'm making the request on behalf of my buyer, right? Next, from Zillow. What's this? Thanks for letting me know. Unfortunately, this home is unavailable to tour at this time. The self-tour feature should be enabled soon. I apologize for any inconvenience. What? Are you reading this? This is what they're doing. Okay? This is what they're doing. Here's another one. Okay, I want to go read this to you, but this is basically from the MLS in New York. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but Sandra Glaser basically sent out an email saying, you probably have questions about Zillow's, entrance into the MLS, entrance into NAR and CAR, entrance into being a brokerage, and you probably have questions about it. However, she says in this email, as partners and part of the MLS, there can be no organized collusion in order to speak bad or organize some kind of, should we say, resistance to Zillow. Anything to do that would be a violation of your code of ethics, okay? And, you know, blah, blah, blah. So in other words, what she just said, Sandra Glazer from the New York, in New York.
She's the agent that received it from her MLS.
I mean, I just got corrected. She's the agent who got it from the MLS. My apologies to Sandra. Sandra's the agent who sent it to us. Thank you, Sandra, for that. But here, basically what it says from the MLS, okay, from Key MLS, don't you dare mess with Zillow, is basically the message. Is that basically a fair message? I think it probably is, okay? So, and again, thank you for Sandra. But basically what it says, in the meantime, one Key MLS must remind all participants and subscribers of the following. Zillow is a Realtor member. Zillow is a Realtor member. Okay. Article 15 of the NAR Code of Ethics prohibits making any false, misleading statements about other real estate professionals, their business, and other business practices, et cetera, et cetera. I wonder if the MLS is seeing this information that's going to sellers. Amazing. All right, so let me show you this. Ready?
And I basically likened the transition that kind of...
Yep, let me back that up. I want to preface this. Remember I told you about Richard Barton before I talked about what he and his company is doing? The guy on the right is Richard Barton. Let's just see this. 1 year ago, this was filmed. 1 year ago, he basically is telling us what he's going to do to us.
Okay, and I happen to have a front row seat at Netflix, where I've been a director for close to 20, lucky enough to be a director for close to 20 years. I've had a front row seat of watching Reed Hastings and the leadership team at Netflix actually cross the chasm from DVDs to streaming, and do so in a way that I think surprised a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And now a second jump they've made is into creation of original content. And I basically likened the transition, the kind of market expansion that Zillow is going through right now, where we've got this huge, profitable incumbent business with this trusted brand. And we're saying, all right, there is a technology disruption happening, and we've got to be the ones to build the bridge across the chasm and get to the other side. And that's why we are going so hard and so aggressively, but in a prudent way, at the new opportunity, and it's going extremely well.
Do you think even further a step forward about other avenues you could go into with mortgages, other aspects?
Yeah, it turns out that the house transaction is the hub of a series of really big, important, and potentially profitable transactions. Getting the mortgage, the title, the escrow, moving, telecommunication services, all this happens and changes and is keyed off of the house transaction. And we are making investments in most of these businesses, specifically mortgages, title, and escrow right now, and creating an integrated digital platform so that one day, the dream is that we dream one day of you having kind of almost a trade-in experience with your house, where you're standing in a house, a Zillow offers house that we own. You've been there 15 times. You've let yourself in with the Zillow app. We know who you are and where you live. We've already have a mortgage ready to go. We have an offer ready for your house when you're ready to transact, and you, with one click, can decide to move.
Hear that? With one click, you can decide to move. With one click. One click. If there's anything that 2020 did for the entire world, it showed the entire world that you can do anything you want. You can live your entire life and never deal with another carbon-based person ever again. You can even get groceries sent right to your doorstep, put in your refrigerator without ever seeing another person. That's good for Zillow and bad for us. You want to know why? Because everybody wants to click. And we are not the click option. We're the in-face person-to-person option. That's a big problem. So what he's basically doing is he's generating and creating this company of his, okay, this huge incumbent company, as he says, to basically be perfect for the new generation coming up who just wants to click and never deal with a salesperson. So here's what he's saying. Ready? This is amazing stuff. Trusted brand. They're the trusted brand, according to Richard Barton. So forget Keller Williams, forget Remax, forget Coldwell Banker, forget Century 21, forget Berkshire, forget all these companies. They're the trusted brand all of a sudden. We're profitable. That right there is a call out to the stockholders, who they are beholden to the stockholders, not to you. So for the last 12 years, if you've ever thought, gee whiz, they're the partner of agents, they're the advocate of agents because they told us they're helping us. Wrong. By the way, Richard Barton, that guy you just saw, is the same guy that invented a company called Expedia. Okay, you know what Expedia is? Expedia is the company that put almost every single travel agent in the world out of business. Now, what is a travel agent? A travel agent is a middleman between a buyer and a seller, smoothing over problems, taking care of issues for a fee or a commission in the middle. Does that sound familiar to you? It's exactly what we do, just in a different industry. So that's the company that put travel agents out of business in the late 90s. Here's what they said. They said, travel agents, instead of just being a source of leads for you and a source of information for you, we're going to make one small little change in our business, Expedia said. We are going to go ahead and become a travel agency ourselves, but it's not going to affect your business. Look the other way. Nothing's happening here. Move along. Which is exactly what they said when Zillow became a brokerage 1 month ago. Interesting. All right. They're prudent, so continue to buy our stock, by the way. We're digital because that's what everybody wants to do, because everyone wants to sit around on their phones these days. I mean, your telephone, that's how old I am. Your cell phone, not your telephone, your cell phone is probably never more than 3 feet away from your head, ever in your entire life. Even when you take a shower, I bet it's probably the last thing that you touch before you go to bed at night. It's the first thing you touch before you get up in the morning, when you get up in the morning, okay? Your spouse is probably like, yeah, it is, that sucks. There you go. Digital, we know who you are. So in other words, Zillow knows who all the buyers and sellers are. They have all their information. One click, once again, digital, and you can let yourself in with the Zillow app. You've been to the house, he says 15 times. It's a Zillow-owned house. You've let yourself in 15 times. What does that mean? When you let yourself in, who's not there? A realtor, exactly. Okay, you can trade your house in, and the house is a hub of a series of very profitable transactions. So by the way, if there's any LOs on this call, okay, loan officers, title people, escrow officers, or home warranty people, any ancillary service, they're coming after you too, not just realtors. They're coming after the entire business, and I'll show it to you. Now,
when Zillow buys your home.
I want to back this up. Okay, sorry real quick. Ready? I want you to see this. This is 15 seconds. 15 seconds, and it controls your mind. I'll show you. When this gets done, I will tell you what you're thinking. I'll actually read your mind. Watch this.
When Zillow buys your home, life gets a little less stressful because there are no repairs or open houses, giving you more time for the things you love. Visit Zillow to request your free offer.
Boom, 15 seconds. Here's what you think. Here's what you're thinking. And this is, by the way, exactly what your customer is thinking. And this is just another step that Zillow is taking to show your customer that realtors are a thing of the past, just like travel agents, just like everything else. Everything's now digital. Ready? Here are the two things that you just thought in the last 15 seconds. Number one, you thought I can sell my house without repairs for top dollar. Did they ever say that? No. They said you can sell without repairs. But the average customer, meaning your database, thought I can sell for top dollars and not repair anything. And they also thought, gee, my realtor's going to make me have repairs so we can get top dollar out of it. Zillow will go ahead and give you top dollar without repairs. They thought that, even though Zillow never said it. And is that true? No. Can you sell without repairs? Yes, that part's true. That's what they said. But at top dollar, no. But your customers thought it, because you just did too, just now. And the other one is he clicked that cell phone, AKA my primary brain. He clicked that cell phone, and when you click a cell phone, that means truth. Okay, to the average person, even though 70% of what's on the internet is false, that means truth. And that means they get that amount of money, and they don't. But that's what the average person thought. So very well designed commercial, and it's been running for over a year in the state of California in every county. Now, let me show you exactly how this is working. These are all the brokerages that everybody, okay, here's Berkshire, Keller Williams, Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, and I'm also including everybody in here. So EXP, as well as Realty One and HomeSmart, and everybody's in here. These are all the brokerages. Here's how our system works, and here's how it's being changed by Zillow. So at one time in history, we all thought, instead of just Berkshire being able to sell Berkshire listings or Remax being able to sell Remax listings, let's all be able to sell all of our listings together. That'll benefit the consumer. That'll benefit us. That'll benefit the economy. It'll benefit everybody. So what we did is we took all of our information, all of our listings that we go out and get, and we put them in one central location called the MLS where we can all sell them. That benefits everybody. It's called a co-op. That's the operation system that we've got, right? Now, here's the difference. Nobody in this club here, no broker, manager, agent, anything else like that, nobody in this club ever made money from the actual data. We only made money by buying and selling each other's listings, right? Right. There's only one company that makes money from the data, and that's Zillow. Because what they do is they've been drawing all the leads, repackaging that information, and selling it back to us. They're selling us our own leads for the last 12 years. Well, here's what this requires. It requires them to have the permission of all these brokerages. It's called the syndication or the IDX. When you're doing your listing and you get to the end of your listing and you have the IDX, the VOWs, the syndications, and everything else like that, they're all defaulted as yes, aren't they? Of course they are. Rarely do you ever put no on those. In fact, you can't put no on those unless your broker of record who owns the listing actually allows you to do so. But putting no on those does what? Putting no on those means that nobody that's not in the club, meaning all the aggregators or all the other websites out there, don't get access to your information. It only goes on the MLS. And that means nobody else has permission to market with your information, your listings, to draw buyers. Well, guess what? This permission right here went away as soon as Zillow became a brokerage and became part of the MLS. So even if you don't want it on Zillow, okay, even if you don't want them stealing all your buyer leads, they get to anyway because they have a direct IDX feed. That is what's changed. So not only can they make money on the actual data, but they now get it directly without your permission and without the permission of anybody else because they're now part of the MLS. They've joined our club. This is how it's changed. So let me show you the difference. This is a listing agent. They used to have to come to somebody in the club. Well, guess what? Zillow can now take care of that. They're in the club. Our associations and our MLS let Zillow in our club. Here's a buyer's agent. They can do that too now. Don't even have to go to somebody in the club anymore or a partner of Zillow. They can do it. So all those partners of Zillow out there in all those markets, they're like, well, we're a Zillow partner and we list their properties and we sell their properties. Your days are numbered. Okay, you're gone. They got their own agents and they're part of the MLS now. They don't need you anymore. So you want your house listed in CRMLS? Well, you used to have to go to somebody who was in the club, but now Zillow's in the club. They can do that too. You want a loan? Hey, loan officers. Zillow has had Zillow Mortgage for almost 3 years now. They can do the loan. You want titles insurance? Zillow's got that. You want escrow services? They've got that. And you want to sell your house via an iBuyer for a crappy price, but to get out of it quickly? They've always been able to do that. Does this not look like an attempted takeover of real estate to you? Because it does to me. But then again, what the heck do I know, right? So here's the thing. That is Simon Raskoff. He was the CEO of Zillow for over 10 years. He was the guy that said, we're going to partner with agents. We're going to be the advocate of agents. We're going to help agents do better. Well, he kind of did and he kind of didn't. He would basically take all of our information, because they have the biggest website in the world, repackage it and sell it to things called premier agents. Those premier agents bought those leads, which are our leads to start with. You're buying your own thing and competing with other agents. So in other words, he's helping some agents compete with other agents. So is he partnering with agents? Kinda. But it seems kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul or something like that. Anyway, 3 years ago, Richard Barton came in and fired Spencer Raskoff. He's gone. That, in my opinion, is when Zillow started taking over the business, because that's when they started doing things like buying other companies and applying for membership at NAR, CAR, Zillow, everywhere else. That's the problem. Now, I want to show you this. This is your Zillow reviews, things you've built up for the last 10 years. Okay? You've got 59 5-star Zillow reviews. Yay. Did you know what happened to these Zillow reviews for the first week of January, when right after Zillow decided to become a brokerage? What happened to those reviews? They were gone for an entire week, but only the reviews of the agents who are not premier agents. So if you're a premier agent paying Zillow thousands of dollars a month for your own information, guess what? Those still stayed up there, but everybody else's was gone for one full week. And here's what Zillow said. Zillow goes, oh, it was a glitch. A glitch? You have a $26 billion company here with the best tech people in the world. And you're saying that only the people who aren't paying you reviews got taken down and that's a glitch? Okay, again, my opinion, but I think that's complete bull. Now, it's amazing. Here's an Inman article that I want to go over. Just last week, about a week and a half ago, Inman published this. Is Zillow the next Robinhood of real estate? For those of you who don't know who Robinhood is a stock platform, basically just to buy and share stocks of companies. Okay, Robinhood was basically where all those Reddit people bought GameStop to fly in the face of all the people, all the big companies and all the hedge funds shorting that stock, and it went up by 8,000%. That was what happened. But here's the point: Zillow and other innovative companies are attempting to make the trading of homes simple and easy. Number one complaint of people who buy or sell a house is it was time-consuming, difficult, frustrating, and expensive. But they're making it simple and easy, according to their advertising. Someone like Robinhood, they're doing with fewer intermediaries, meaning you. There's $15 billion available for selling digital leads. That's the money that Zillow has gone after for the last 12 years. But they're no longer going after that money. They got their eyes on a bigger prize. They got their eyes on the $32 trillion housing market that has $100 billion in transaction costs. What's a transaction cost? Things like, I don't know, your commission. What's the number one most expensive thing on a net sheet? Yeah, your commission. That's what they're going after. So they're not worried about this $15 billion that they may forego because they're not going to be selling digital leads anymore. They're looking at all of what you make. And Zillow's trajectory is similar to that of Netflix. Netflix? Now, let me ask you a quick question. What company was basically the casualty of the Netflix increase. You're saying Blockbuster. You're saying, oh yeah, Netflix put Blockbuster out of business. Wrong. That's not what happened. Blockbuster put Blockbuster out of business because Blockbuster refused to change, grow, and become more relevant to its own customers. They always thought that we'd want to get in the car, go to the rental store, find the movie out of stock, rent something else, have it sit in our car for days, pay late fees and everything else like that. And that's what happened. So this right here are all the, you can't read this, but I'll read it to you, are all the responses to the article that I just quoted from Inman. Now, I knew what the responses were going to be before I even read these responses. Here's what it is. I know here's what's going to happen. Realtors are all going to go, oh, I'm okay. I have relationships. Boom. And I was right once again. Ready? Brad Johnson, a nice guy, by the way, said, it's always going to be, people coming in. We had I pay one and blah, blah, blah. But relationships are going to end in the future. Then Michael Kitchens, again, another good guy, said, bingo. There'll always be disruptors, but in the end, relationships will win. With all due respect to those guys and anybody who says that, they will not. Because that is not what wins. Relationship is no longer what's going to be winning anymore. Are relationships valuable? Absolutely. It gets you the consideration, but it doesn't get you the listing anymore like it did 30 years ago. Here's what wins. Value wins. The customer will always go with value. Let me give you a 30-second story. Right here in Temecula, California, there's a lady named Kelly Malone. Now, Kelly owns a brokerage. She's actually the brokerage owner of Reliable Real Estate. She was married a few years ago. Now, her husband's best man, okay, so she's standing next to her husband. The guy standing next to him, his best man, his best friend, so someone that Kelly has known for years, called her just about a year and a half ago and said, hey, Kelly, it's Bob from your wedding. Oh, hey, Bob, how you doing? She's known him for years. Hey, Kelly, I know you're a great real estate agent and a great broker here in Temecula, California. Can you please spare just a few minutes so I can ask you some questions about real estate? She goes, oh, no problem, Bob. Feel free. He goes, great. Thank you very much for your time. I just sold my house to Open Door, and I want to go over the numbers with you to see if I did a good job. Relationships will always win. Will they? They used to always win because that was the only option somebody had, was go with somebody who they had a relationship with or go with somebody they didn't have a relationship with. But your customers don't have those options. Okay? They have many more options. They have the iBuyers. Okay? They have the discounters. They have more options now than they did before. So your relationships, the value of your relationships has gone down. You must be the agent with the most value. Let me show you an example. Let's say that this is Bob, the best man at her wedding. She's known him for years. He just got a job transfer. Now here's Kelly Malone, for example. So this is, in this case, it's going to be Kelly, or in other words, you. Okay, you're the agent who thinks that relationships will always win. Well, normally for the last 30 years, you had a personal relationship with your agent, and you always went with them because you had that relationship. Well, guess what? He goes to work the next day. Somebody goes, oh, you just got transferred, Bob? Congratulations. Oh, you probably need to sell your house quickly. Just log on to Zillow. They'll pay you a cash check. You'll get out of it quickly. He goes, I didn't know about that option. And he also may or may not know about this option right here. This is an agent that knows all the tools and techniques at the Career Compass, the #1 training organization in the state of California. We have 27,000 members have learned things like the 7% technique, the EAT, the PAT, the lawyer letter, okay, the deal a week technique. The deal a week technique, I can show you how to get a listing, not a buying agency, a listing every single week of your life or more, guaranteed, doesn't cost you a dime. These are the new tools and techniques to create value that other agents don't provide. So this agent has all of those at her disposal. So here's what happens. You have the relationship. That's all. All your eggs are in that basket. You think he's going to list with you because of your relationship. Okay? You have the MLS and you have a sign in the front of the yard. This is the traditional way of doing real estate. Yay, at 5% and going down. Zillow, he just finds out as soon as he logs on because of the advice from his friend at work, goes, has a cash offer. No open houses. Nobody tromping through the front yard. Nobody tromping through the living room. Blah, blah, blah. And fast closings. Wow, he says. I do a relationship with her, but this sounds really good. Now, this agent over here that's advertising in his neighborhood, she has something called the 7% technique, which I talked about before. And she's able to actually drive the house up. She's actually able to sell the house way faster than you, for more commission than you. Yep, that's exactly what I said. And that's what the things like the 7% technique do for you. You'll be able to sell the house in days, if not weeks, if not hours, for way more than the average agent, for a higher commission than the other agent. That's what she can do. Now, let's talk about value. Here's the value that you provide. Zero. The house is worth $1 million, for example. You're going to sell it for $1 million. Your incremental or additional value to him is zero. He thinks Zillow is going to save him 30 grand because he doesn't have to pay you. So he thinks it's going to save him 30. Is that true? No. But all they got to do is get him to think that. And this agent is going to sell the house for 40 grand more than you because she knows tools, techniques, systems, and processes from the Career Compass. Again, she's able to provide more value. Now, he's going to want to do this, but if he knows about this agent, he's going to do this. Now, here's the thing. If you're the agent with the relationship and you know this kind of stuff, you're unbeatable. You are absolutely unbeatable, and I can give you thousands of examples of this, where agents who not only have the relationship, but also have the tools and techniques of the future, they cannot be beat. Coming and going. Okay, and I'm about to show it to you. So with that being said, let me show you this real quick. This is the most important. This was a letter from the MLS that I got recently, from the actual PR person at the MLS. The main question that I was looking for was this one. Is Zillow only doing this with CRMLS or all MLS is impacted? And the answer is all. According to Zillow, Zillow is becoming a dues-paying member of local, state, and national association of realtors. We know this at this. Zillow is now a member of NAR. But let me tell you what that means. Zillow now is going to be at the, should we say, the voting table at both NAR, CAR, and all of your local boards. Do you think when they're voting, which, by the way, they'll be the most powerful entity that ever entered the Chicago office of NAR ever, the minute they get there, do you think that they're going to vote on policy that you have to go on with based on their interest or your interest? Think about that. I wonder. Let's say that I'm a seller of a house that you are going to do a listing presentation. I'm in your database. Can you show me numerically, not, oh boy, I work really hard for my commission, Wellington, and gee, I'm from a great brokerage, and golly, I knew your father and all this crap nobody cares about. Can you not just establish value that way, but on a piece of paper or the spreadsheets that we will provide you, I'll show you one of them, that shows how you, even including your commission, could put more money in my pocket than any iBuyer or any other agent, even including your commission. Can you do that? If the answer is yes, congratulations, you're ready for the future. And you probably know many of our tools and techniques because you've probably been to our seminar. However, if you cannot, if you're going to go, well, gee whiz, you know, the iBuyers or the discounters, they're cheaper, but I'm better. And by the way, that's not true. I'm about to show it to you. If that's your answer, you are part of the past. You are a blockbuster and you're about to be put out of business.